Hi, I'm Scott,
And I'm James.
and this is a podcast.
Toys from a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. We've got some sad news.
Well, actually, we have two things of sad news to talk about.
I don't know if I could take any more.
Well, I know. But first news is Stan Lee died recently, and a lot of people are doing a lot of videos about it. And, I think for you it might have hit you more harder than. I mean, I'm still affected by it, and I think it's really sad. But you grew up, you read a lot more comics than I have, and
That's what comic books was my escape among and TV. I didn't have the greatest childhood, but who did? Who does? You know. So, but yeah, I read lots of Justice League and. It was mainly the Hulk. I just love the Hulk. Let's go. I want the Hulk out. But yeah, he invented a lot of the characters that we know now, which now have become what they call archetypes. I mean, it's a mythology now, like Star Wars, you know, and some other franchises. And but what I liked about it, he came up with some of the phrases. I do believe he came up with the phrase. With great responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility.
Which Uncle Ben says Peter Parker, or Spider-Man.
And he came up with some other really, I believe it was him. I've listened to some other shows, and they said it was him. I like to do my own independent research, but I watched some other tributes to him, and they said he came up with a lot of these phrases. But at the same time, I'm also aware that other people worked their butt off on those comic books. And other people contributed to all those characters, but he did invent some of the most iconic ones, and I like Marvel better than DC because I could identify with them a little bit more for some reason. They weren't as magical, maybe, or cheesy. I don't want to say that, but I could suspend my disbelief a little bit better with Marvel characters. So, yeah, it sucked. I mean, he's 95 years old.
Age.
I hadn't heard exactly what he died of.
I don't know if it was natural or unnatural. It's hard to say, really, without them really saying, oh, this is going to be the reason. Yeah. I mean, some people, when they get 95, they die. That's reality.
Yeah. I mean,
he lived a full
the life
life.
expectancy nowadays is like mid-70s or somewhere, which is awesome. My parents are in their 70s. They get around fantastic. So if you want to think about it, I mean, if they, don't damage themselves too bad, they've got another 20 years to look forward to. Hopefully, pain-free.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stanley was he made a cameo in almost every Marvel movie that I'm aware of. So what are they going to do now?
Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds, if you're listening to this, you better make a cameo in every movie.
Well, Ryan Reynolds watches each one of our podcasts.
Does he?
Yeah.
I know, he must be a huge fan of me.
Yeah.
Especially though I bash him on occasion. But
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see how you wouldn't like Ryan Reynolds, but...
Hey, Green Lantern, that's all I'm going to say. Other than Green Lantern, you're a good guy.
Green Lantern, okay. I didn't hate it. So, what do you think they should... You want Deadpool to...
I think Deadpool should just show up in every movie. It doesn't matter if it's...
Oh, you want Deadpool to take the place of Stan Lee as cameos?
Yeah.
But
So
Rob Liefeld's the one that invented Deadpool.
Yeah, but I mean, if you had him show up, you could always add comic relief. Because Stan Lee's always been very serious in these roles. So if you add a little bit of comical sense, it kind of reverses the... could you imagine him going up to Spider-Man? Oh, hi, Spidey. How's the web shooting going? See ya. Deadpool here. Checking in on you.
Well, I think that, and a lot of people are not going to agree with this, but I think they should, hopefully they scan Stan Lee in, his body, but, scanned his laser
like
scan.
Futurama, where they just take his head
No.
put it in a jar.
I love Futurama. No, I mean, what they do is these actors, they'll scan them and save that CGI template for later use.
Right.
You know, and it's happening more and more. And I hopefully they stand Stanley. If not, they can probably make. I think they should still make a cameo of him. I think. I haven't completely decided, but I think they should still have Stanley in every Marvel movie as a small cameo, as a tribute, to let people, as a reminder that he's what. There's a little bit of part of him in these characters anyway. So I think there's going to be people that are going to argue against that, but I think it would be appropriate to still have him
to
honor him and his. A lot of these characters and stuff were his idea, to still have a cameo, even though it's CGI. I think would be a good way to honor him, or one way to honor him.
Yeah, I think that would be. I think it would be appropriate and respectful. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Deadpool would be funny, but then people would, after a while, be really sick of it. I mean,
Well, that's not a bad idea. Having Deadpool, poke in once in a while, especially since now Disney owns him too. But I don't know. That's just my idea.
I mean, for me, my personal favorite one was you and I watched it the other night, the Thor Ragnarok, and Thor goes, "By Odin's beard, you will not touch my hair."
Yeah. That was the cameo with Stanley he cut Thor's hair. So I don't, maybe not as big a cameo, but I think they could still throw him in the background somewhere.
Him just walking around, dude. That way, the hardcore fans that really like me, I dissect movies. I'm like, hey, there goes that guy. You know, he was in that, and most of the time, my wife, she gets pretty sick of it.
There's lots of cameos in movies that we're not even aware of, I'm sure. And a lot of them, if you read the trivia on some movies, you'll find out that the director made a cameo and all that stuff, or maybe the person who wrote the book that the movie's based off made a cameo. I mean, in the movie The Crow, the author of the graphic novel that the movie's based on, he was in one scene, where they were looting. So, what's the other bad news?
The other bad news is I am currently moving back to Seattle as of tomorrow morning. So me and Scott we may still continue to shoot podcasts, and they'll be either us shooting them via Skype, or I don't know how we'll still have to figure that one out. But we still plan on making
what I plan on doing is scanning your body and making a hologram of you.
And then I just
CGI you in.
That's fair. I think you can just get a
keep
mannequin and then just get a tablet screen with my face on it, and then just put it on the mannequin. That way I'll be present in all the videos.
Yep. No, seriously, because of his work, he's having to move. He was actually moving sooner than we'd planned. So, unfortunately, we won't be able to do these videos or podcasts
in person with each other.
Yeah, which kind of sucks, because when you want to do reviews or something, but lots of other people do it. So why can't we?
And I'm gonna miss working with Scott. I mean, we're still gonna collaborate. And, I mean, we're still gonna do our podcast. I might start throwing stuff in towards his direction. I might make a video with myself. You've been making videos, just by yourself.
Because I'm more interested in more than just Star. I love Star Wars, but
he just threw me under the bus. He said, "I don't care about the rest of the sci-fi franchise."
Well, he only likes Star Wars.
I
mean, he likes other movies, but he's deep into Star Wars, and other things are just like an orbit. I have a whole subterranean layer here of stuff.
Do you have any magma laying around, or lava?
I have a shark with lasers on it.
Oh, okay. I make deals. Make it clear. I want $1 million for subscribers.
Dr. Evil.
Yeah. It's not a lot of money these days, you know. You should ask for a lot more than $1 million. No.
Well, that's a good movie too, or good 3 movies. And you can just tell by watching those movies that they had a lot of fun making them. So, James is running away. No, he's not running away. No, he's got something going. So, I wish you the best of luck, buddy.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Don't let the door
hit you on the way out. No, with Scott though, I know him and I we joke around a lot, but we really enjoy when him and I we sit and we'll text each other and we'll say, hey, what do you want to talk about this week? Or it's not so much that we do this as a job. We're like, hey, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna say, hey, we're gonna talk about this one week. Or, and you know, it's fun to actually sit and have a hobby and then do your research about it. We try not to go into it just.
Yeah, well, I mean, since we're fans and collectors, we already know a lot. You know, once in a while, I have something I need to know. I need to check this out for sure. You know, some things are more important than others, but I do like to have some knowledge about something. That's why we like doing this, because we're both collectors. He knows a lot more about Star Wars figures than I do.
You know a lot more about
almost
everything else
stuff,
but that.
Well, there's guys out there who know way more than both of us combined.
Yeah.
But we like doing this. Well, we like sharing, you know.
Yeah, we enjoy each other's company. I think is our biggest thing, because when him and I first met, and we hung out. And I thought, I'm like, I think it was you that really pitched the idea for the podcast, making one.
Yeah, I said I always wanted to make one, and he said, I'm down.
I said, because I'm comfortable doing it, but I wasn't comfortable jumping into unknown water by myself, kind of a deal. You know, if I'm doing it with somebody, and it always seems to be that way when you do anything really, if you have somebody there to do it with, you feel a lot more comfortable.
Well, and I do some other things that I'm used to talking in front of people and you know, other stuff. So, but it's good. You know, we're going to keep this going since he's moved away, though. We had some interviews set up with some local folks, but I guess I'll do it unless I can get them to do a three-way Skype or something, or Hangout. Okay, well, this won't be our last video, but we just to say goodbye to James.
Thank you all. Thanks for watching. I appreciate Scott helping me do these videos and working together with you.
Yeah, and we'll get better and better the more you do it.
I mean, I couldn't get the title down to our name for about a month until I sat there every night and practiced it.
And it was his name. He's the one.
I'm the one that thought of the name.
But that's the way it's the way with everything. You just keep doing it. The first few times it's just not going to be that great, but you get better, just like these other things that I do. You know, I wasn't very happy with the way things turned out back then, but now I'm better. So, okay. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Bye, James.
Bye.